Hello, everyone. My name is Fred Pitsadney. I'm the founder and president of Focus Management, a firm that specializes in assisting leaders to create or update their strategic plans, and more importantly, increase their capability to execute those plans. It is a well-researched and published fact that most leaders struggle with the implementation of their strategic and operational plans, as many as 75%. Since 1999, we have worked with leaders in 39 different industry sectors here in Canada and the United States. This video is a part of a series that features senior leaders, clients of ours, who have agreed to share some of their big aha moments. Call them major discoveries, realizations, or inspirational flashes. We've all had them. And today you're going to hear about one of them, a big one, from Brent Cornelissen. Brent is the President and CEO of OS&B in Oakville, Ontario. Brent started in the plumbing industry in 1981. Brent, that's only 40 years ago, with the EMCO Factory based in London, Ontario. They were a premier Canadian brass manufacturer of residential and commercial faucets, along with brass valves and fittings. Brent was then involved in the amalgamation of EMCO and WALTEC, another faucet manufacturer, which was folded into what became known as Delta Faucet Canada back in 1992. Brent then went on to start his own plumbing manufacturers agency, representing a number of well-known brands in Ontario. In 1999, he was appointed Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Watts Regulator for Canada. They were and still are the largest maker of backflow preventers. By 2005, the entrepreneurial streak was alive again when Brent purchased Oakville Stamping and Bending and rebranded it as OS&B. It has become the largest maker of bath drains, lav drains, and shower drains in Canada, with a strong presence in the US market as well. The rest, as I say, is plumbing history. Welcome, Brent, and thank you for taking the time to share your big aha moment, as well as maybe some of your OS moments. I'm not referring to Oakville Stamping when I use that term, Brent. OS, this is obviously a family-rated video. Brent, over to you.
Good morning. Thank you, Fred. A great introduction. I forgot that it's been almost 40 years. I don't know where that went, but it's been a fantastic industry. I refer to it as D&B, or dull and boring. But the good news is everybody might want an iPhone. They need plumbing, and if they don't have their plumbing, their life is miserable. So it's been very, very good to me, as they like to say in the baseball world. So with that, I just wanted to say that we engaged Focus Management to help us design our entry into the US market, recognizing that we were a very small fish going into a big pond and that we probably needed some help. And it turned out we needed a lot of help. So as we were going through the sessions, I had an aha moment, and the aha moment was not good. It was more a case of, in the fact that all of a sudden I realized that drawing pictures with your fingers, instead of having the proper brochures and sales materials to call on these US customers, was not going to be satisfactory. So we actually put the whole thing on hold for 6 months while we created that ancillary material so that we could have brochures with pictures and the proper explanation of our product to the customers that we wanted to see in the United States. And that was the part that helped us to recognize that was the sessions we had with Focus Management, where we went, we don't have what we need. So that's where, you know, our whole team sat there and said, but we're going to miss our deadline. And I said, yes, we are. But we're the only ones that know the deadline, nobody else. So we're going to set a new deadline. And we did. And I'll tell you, in 2014, we were nervous. We went to our first kitchen and bath show in Las Vegas. And we had a new product that we were hoping that people would embrace. It turned out that they fell in love with it. And today we make a freestanding tub rough and drain at almost 200,000 a year. So it's been a huge hit, and we've enjoyed it. And if it wasn't for focus management, I'm not sure that we would have crossed the T's and dotted the I's. As you know, you only get a first chance to make a first impression, or what do you call it? You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So we wanted to make sure that we did it right the first time. Another lesson from my 40 years, don't sell things twice. Do it right the first time, because when you got to do it twice, it's a lot harder to sell the second time than it is the first. So that's my aha and OS moment.
Brent, that was a fantastic share. You know, I think sometimes what happens in the heat of the moment, and I think that's what happened with your team, is that you get so wound up and so excited about expanding the business and having this wonderful opportunity in the US that in fact you're kind of fearful of saying, let's stop. But your lesson here is don't be afraid to stop, get it right, and then proceed.
Correct. In other words, don't get too hung up on the fact that you're going to miss a deadline, especially when it's your own deadline. Just move the goalposts. It's not hard, and by the way, nobody's going to notice.
Exactly.
So, especially the U.S. customers, and I'm really adamant about this. You know, making a first impression with these customers, because you don't get a second chance, and it's huge. You got to remember that you're going into a market where they already have the products that they need, and you're trying to convince them that this one is better, and they're going, no, I'm fine. So it's very difficult to try and displace somebody, but once you do, you're in. But it's a long road, it really is. So make sure that you've got everything and all your ducks in line to be able to service the market, give them what they need, have the materials, create a website that's decent, and make sure that you've got two-way communication available at any time.
Those are great lessons to share. Thank you very much, Brent. And best of luck for the next 40 years.
Thank you. I'd like to be around in another 40. That'd be great.
Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it.
Thank you again, Fred.